I'm Joy.
And I'm John Paul, and we are the Civil Wars.
Sundance 2012 is a big deal for us. Last year we were playing a cafe, and then this year we've been a part of scoring a documentary called Finding North. So it's been a big change from last year to this year.
And the things that have happened in that year, we didn't even dream that big, honestly. And we'd be lying if we said we had. The entire year has just been dotted with so many, bucket list moments. Getting to play the Ryman back in Nashville and getting to do Prairie Home Companion and then, the Grammys.
Touring with Adele and scoring films. It's been crazy.
We're dead serious. We're just like, it hasn't really sunk in. The way we got involved with this documentary is basically T-Bone Burnett. T-Bone, as most people probably know, is a living legend, producer, and nominated for about everything that you can be nominated for. He said, I've got a lot of projects, I love what you do, we should work together. And we didn't hesitate in saying we agree. And this was one of the first things that he contacted us about. So we wrote Finding North, and they ended up using our song title as the name of the documentary. They put up a screen and we were watching the documentary and playing along.
Playing with it.
And next thing you knew, it was a collaboration between the two of us for the entire soundtrack. We could not have been more stoked about it.
Finding North, the documentary, is really about hunger in America, but it goes much deeper than that. 44 million people go to bed hungry every day in America and don't know where their next meal is coming from. And so it highlights food insecurities in the United States, which basically means food deserts, where people literally don't have access to fresh fruits and vegetables. It definitely puts a face to this, what I would consider an epidemic of what's happening in the United States. It's a documentary that also gives you just as much information about the issue itself, as well as the positive changes that can be made that are totally doable. So we're behind it 100%.
There's no reasons, no excuses. There's no second.
It's been interesting in the last year we've been able to be a part of independent film as well as sort of the big box office films as well. And this upcoming film that we were just a part of is The Hunger Games, based on a New York Times best-selling trilogy. That again was another move that T-Bone Burnett invited us to be a part of.
We knew that he would have the best instincts about how to capture music from the future, but yet based in Appalachia, and keep the darker, somber themes of the book in line with the music. And we make no bones about the fact that we are probably more happy to play with the dark than the light. And there are bands out there that can work in the light and
make you happy.
Yeah, good for them. We're not that band. So what we do, I think, honestly, really works well with that idea. We had carte blanche to do whatever we wanted to do.
And then a couple weeks later, Taylor Swift actually texted and said, "Hey, are you in town?" And we both happened to be in LA, and she did as well, and she was writing with T-Bone that day and wanted us to come and be a part of her song. So we've had more involvement in that movie than we thought that we would.
I remember tears streaming down your face when I said I'll never let you go.
We didn't want to make it so specific that as soon as you heard the song, you knew it was specific narrative. It was specifically about a certain relationship. And we tried to keep the edges just vague enough that it could be about any number of relationships in the books.
That's how we write anyway.
And that's how we always write, because if we make things completely specific, then the listener can't put themselves in the song. All they can do is say, okay, that's about his issues with that, instead of blurring the edges just enough that they can put themselves inside it. So we tried to do that same thing.
Let's write a song for us.
If we could collaborate with any director,
I can think of one.
Dude, Coen Brothers, I would want.
That would be way up on
Dude,
the
Wes
list.
Anderson.
That would be way up there. David Fincher.
David Fincher, yes.
Yeah. We could do this all day.
Oh yeah.
We're
How much time do you have?
movie buffs, yeah.
I think one thing that's been really a very integral part of our band has been word of mouth. You know, we don't have the big machine behind us. We really do have a patchwork quilt of amazingly passionate people that believe in what we do. From the very onset, we didn't want anybody to feel like this music was being shoved down their throats, or like with jazz hands in people getting to know our music. And it's been a really exciting thing to watch the groundswell happen in a really natural way through people just being generous with, hey, have you heard this music? That's the biggest gift that you can give independent artists. I guess any artist of any kind, really.
It's an amazing world that we live in now, that you're able to take music and have it accessible anywhere you go. I think it's a beautiful thing that we're more than happy to be a part of, and it makes perfect sense with our model of how we do things, is that we're always accessible via social networks, but you know, like with Google Music, that you know, you can get to our music anywhere you want, and you have to. And that's the way the world works now. There's no sense sitting around and trying to make things work with the old model. Even 10 years ago, the career path of the Civil Wars would have taken, you know, at least 5 times as long. The idea that people can instantly access our music and then always have it available from any of their devices, from their computer, from their Android phone or whatever. I still don't completely have my head wrapped around it, but it's a beautiful thing, especially for DIY artists like us.
Yes, you're the only one for me.
Thank you.
John Paul's big thing is we know that we've made it when you type in the Civil Wars in Google and we're the first thing that pops up.
Yes, or even the Civil War, and we come up first. That's where we want to be.
Let's just keep on dreaming.